who have taken the initiative.
And our first priority:
issue, debate, action. What do politicians really mean when they use these words?
Debate, generally they'd have a fight with the other, their opposition.
The Honourable Gentleman's quite right to raise the issue.
The real issue is they want to talk about what they want to talk about and ignoring the other person's point.
Well, that is often the case with most prominent politicians around the globe. But a respectable think tank, the Centre for Policy Studies, or CPS, believes British politicians are topping the league.
Orwell talked about newspeak in his novel 1984, as you will know, and the language of government controlling the way people thought, ultimately. Orwell's phrase was that, that language isn't just changed by us, but changes the way we think, and governments can change the way people think, possibly by the use of language.
So the CPS put together the Lexicon 2008, a guide that decodes the language used by politicians to cover up their actions. Their concern is that the new Labour spin doctors have taken the manipulation of language to the extreme over the past 10 years.
Well, of course, people joke about Gordon Brown being Stalinist in his approach to government, and there's always some truth in a joke like that, insofar as our present Prime Minister does like to make big announcements about long-term plans in the way that socialist regimes have always put forward plans for people's lives, and it is curious that the language is remarkably similar to that.
And I want to see local government strengthened with new powers, local communities empowered to hold those who make decisions to account, community ownership of assets, greater power for more people to control their lives, government putting our trust in people, and we will renew people's trust in government.
So it seems that euphemisms, avoidance and vagueness have come to dominate government speeches. But do those sitting behind these walls realise that they're being repetitive and only get us all confused by benchmarks, visions and strategic frameworks? Well, that is the question. So we asked somebody who's got his eyes on a seat in Parliament as an opposition Lib Dem candidate. Is this language a real problem?
You can always be flippant about this, say actually it's just a dictionary, it's a joke, but actually language is the ultimate control over people's thoughts. I certainly feel nervous at the government picking language, picking words deliberately, and combined with identity cards, CCTV cameras, and what feels like a sort of state intrusion on my life.
And Ad admits, if you go into politics, it's contagious.
And quite often you'll say, look, we have to address this, which is code for we have to get it off. I thought that was quite clever, particularly as it was the first one. Oh my God, I've used that myself.
What about the people? Are they brainwashed by their politicians?
They assume that everybody believes in the spin, but I think we've reached a stage now where we're so inured to it, we don't believe them even when they're not spinning.
That's what they do, they shout like that. Shout and throw pieces of paper.
Lies, yeah, truth is their version of the truth.
So maybe the time has come for some politicians to change their ways. Daria Peshkova, Russia Today, London.